I'm an avid Pokemon fan, so when I finally got my hands on Pokemon Gold version, I was thrilled. I noticed though that since it was an old hand me down, as the battery inside had drained and the save files couldn't be created anymore, but I couldn't wait to try it and start a new game anyway. The graphics were great compared to the blue version I had, and I was really happy and just filled with excitement. I picked up a Cyndaquil that I nicknamed Thorn, don't ask me why though, and I loved him to pieces, and I named my rival Ben, as I always do, and defeated him in our first battle with ease. Accrediting to my partner more than my battle skills, everything was going great. I loved this game and loved it with all my Pokemon. But in the back of my mind, I still remembered all this would soon come to an end, and the battery would not last forever. I hated the idea of losing my team after we had been through all together and accomplished. I had a female Flaaffy named Cotton, and a male Pidgeotto named Ace, a male Ghastly named Spooky, and a male female Sentret named Maddie. That's when the inevitable happened, and it happened with the red light on my Game Boy Color began flickering. I took a deep breath and looked at my team over one last time, gave each my Pokemon a goodbye, then looked at my partner the longest. And my strong Quivilla finally started to tear up a moment. I get so attached to my Pokemon. Thorn, I'm so sorry I did this. I should have wanted to fix the cartridge all before this happened. Please forgive me, partner. Goodbye. I shed a tear knowing that one of the tough battle moments that had gone to waste and turned off the game. That night I went to bed after the normal incident, turning on my lamp and hopped into my warm soft bed, closed my eyes and wait. Something was wrong. I tossed and turned and fidgeted and questioned and repositioned my pillow and shut my eyes tight. Nothing. I couldn't sleep. But why? Something just wasn't right. The feeling of my normally relaxing room was gone. An odd air hung silently, almost pulling me. I sat up in the darkness and saw a very small, very faint, flickering red light in the corner of my eye, so I pushed back my blankets and forgetting the lamp, and began to shuffle across the floor. But I stopped. A squirming in my gut told me to move another for itch, as something was really wrong here. Chills ran down my spine like ice, and that's when I heard it, a distorted Pokemon's cry. Sounded like it came from a poor quality TV channel. I rubbed my eyes and looked, panicking, around a dark room. The red light was gone. I decided that I had been sleepwalking and had found my bed again, and heard it again, this time lower pitch, even closer. I sat bolt upright, eyes wide. Who's there? There was no answer until you left, a shaking, barely audible voice like rustling leaves. You abandoned me. I gasped in fear, my heart thudding against my chest. I could hear or see nothing except a little red light again. And I realized it was my reflection of my mirror, and I found the source beside my bed table. I had put my Game Boy on it and picked it up weakly and looked at the dim, flickering light. The screen then too flickered. But this wasn't right. The Game Boy Color had no lights and it's just a screen, just pixels. But briefly, a pale blue and just went into blank once more. I started mumbling until my heart continued to hammer. The voice returned, a little clearer than before, but still faint. It's okay. I forgive you, partner. I seemed to think that where I got this once. The hair on my nape of my neck then stood on the end. Suddenly, I saw a pair of cloudy pale blue eyes directly in front of me. They had no pupils, no shine. They were just dull. I screamed, scooting backwards against my headboard in fear. I forgive, and now we can be together. It said, and an icy sensation swept over me. I could barely breathe. A pain flared somewhere inside my chest, and those eyes had drifted into my soul. Blackness crept into the edges of my vision, and the last of my consciousness drifted out of reach, and a morbid static voice rang in my ears. I will be with you now, with you forever. When I finally woke up, I was in my pajamas and my bed sheets were twisted up around my sweat-soaked body. I then looked around my room in silent dread for those haunting eyes, but they were nowhere to be seen. Hey, I know it's Saturday, but are you gonna wake up at all? Came my brother's voice from the hallway. I sighed, shaking my hands and unfurling the blanket. It was all just a dream. Still, I couldn't help but thinking about what happened to my Pokemon after you erased the game file. I still felt very sorry about it. I hopped out of bed and made my way down to the hallway, smiling at my own fear. At the corner of my eye, I saw it. My Quivlia, in the reflection of my full-length mirror. He smiled at his cold, dead smile, and that's when I looked back. He was gone. I will be with you now. With you forever. And that, my little pretties, was Pokemon Gold Glitch. I guess a Pokepasta. Wow, I haven't did a Pokepasta in like a while. Now, my final thoughts on this story. This story was, kinda confusing. Like, it's not a bad, Pokepasta. I know this might have been an old one written, I guess, in 2012 or 2013 or something. But for some reason, this story was kinda confusing. Like, Pokemon Gold Glitch. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense on what it was. So I guess maybe the only thing is that it just was confusing and it just didn't make sense. I think maybe that might be just me though. But with all honesty, I could definitely see this being believable. Somebody getting Pokemon Gold as like an old hand-me-down, and then all of a sudden it doesn't really work very well anymore as the cartridge battery was dying, couldn't save any files anymore. You know, that's actually believable. I can definitely say that now. That's actually very believable. Like, I like how the person's, you know, putting his or her believability in the story, and that's probably how it's, you know, went out the way it is. It's just really interesting, especially, you know, the beginning of it was pretty good, but then when it gets to the person, you know, having, you know, a bad dream about the lower pitched voice of, I don't know, I guess you could say, I guess maybe this guy's Pokemon team, you know, when the, old cartridge, you know, died, it wouldn't, you know, load or save any games anymore. You know, this story, like, I've seen a few narrations of this story. Like, I'm actually seeing a couple narrations of it right now. It just didn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, this is like, I know it's a classic Pokemon pasta, which I've never heard of before, but there was not really so much of a glitch in the game. Like, I think maybe this story was just a bit confusing, or mostly confusing, but it just didn't really make sense. Well, it did make kind of somewhat sense, but at the same time, it just didn't, I think it just didn't have a really good, just not enough explanation as to why that was the case or something. Maybe that might be just me, but I really just don't I probably just, might be missing something, but I'm not really sure. The grammar was pretty good, not gonna lie. The grammar was actually pretty good. This story actually had a pretty good believability, but it kind of was confusing at parts, you know, how it went from, you know, someone playing the game as normal, even though it was a very old, hand-me-down that apparently had, you know, that inside the battery of the cartridge had drained and the save files could not be created anymore. You know, it went from that to somebody having a bad dream about, you know, I guess maybe some paranormal sighting or something happening. I don't know. The story was just confusing at times. Like, it didn't really explain so much of how it went from one to another. Like, I think that's just the main issue, is just it's kind of confusing. Like, I think maybe it's just towards the middle. It's when it was confusing, but it's somewhat enjoyable. I'm gonna say, even though it's not cliched, it's still pretty good. Like, it's a pretty good, you know, Pokepasta. Man, it's been actually quite a while since I last sat there and did a Pokepasta. Maybe I should do maybe another one in the future or something. I don't know. It kind of depends, because, you know, to be honest, I have not, you know, sat there and read this story in like a while. Well, I kind of read it maybe once, but I probably was kind of confused because I didn't really, you know, I don't really know what it is, to be completely honest. I think it was just confusing when it went from 1 to 100. Like, it goes from, you know, someone playing the game as all normal, everything's going good, to all of a sudden, I guess, someone getting a nightmare of this or something. I think that might be something. That might be just me, but I really honestly don't know. I could definitely say right now that I guess the story was just a little confusing. That's probably just me though, but yeah. Anyways, since I'm not sure who the original author is, as I can't seem to find the original author, but if I do find out who the original author of this story is, I will definitely be sure to give him or her proper credit. If someone could tell me who the original author is, please let me know, and I will sit there and, make sure to give him or her proper credit. It's a good story, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna say that it was a bit confusing. That might be maybe just me. I don't really know, but maybe someone could tell me. Maybe I'm missing something, but other than that, I'm just gonna sit there and say right now that this story was not a bad story. It's a good one. It's just, I guess maybe there was something I'm missing of. I can't really point it out right now, but, I guess I'm gonna sit there and say this right now, and I like I always continue to say, this is simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these creepypastas, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. And my final rating of this story would have to be, I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. 9 because it's a pretty good pokey-pasta. Like, the grammar was good and all that. The storyline was pretty interesting, but I guess maybe up to the middle, it just kind of was a little confusing. But other than that, the story was actually pretty good. It's not a bad pokey-pasta. It's actually a pretty good one. And it is on the regular Creepypasta Wiki. If you guys want to check it out, feel free to. The story was not bad at all. It was pretty good. So anyways, with that said, what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what would you have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload, because, you'll get notified to when I upload. And as always, please roll the outro, because I'm